How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review. We're going to be reviewing this 2022 Toyota Tacoma right behind me here. But before we get to the truck, I do have to give a quick shout out to Sandstone Toyota on Route 1 North in Avenel, New Jersey. If you're in the central to North New Jersey area and you're looking for a new Toyota, I highly suggest them. I've done a lot of cars or vehicles from their lot, and I have nothing but good things to say about them. But now, getting that out of the way, in front of us we do have a brand new 2022 Toyota Tacoma SR5. Now this SR5 is definitely like the kind of most popular trim when it comes to these new 2022 Toyota Tacomas, and the different trims available on the 2022 Toyota Tacoma go from the SR to the SR5 to the TRD Sport to the TRD Off-Road, and then to the Limited, and then at the very top of the line we have the TRD Pro. Now this SR5 trim has an MSRP right over 31 grand, right at $31,045 US, and it's definitely Toyota's like more starter truck, smaller truck. Obviously these Tacomas have like a cult following over the years. I do kind of like them. I'm not much of a truck person myself, but I did just get finished with the review and the POV driving video of their new 2022 Toyota Tundra. So that Tundra Platinum is definitely a huge step up from this little Tacoma. So I'm sorry if I'm a little spoiled during this review, but honestly I really don't mind the Tacoma that much. I don't mind the smaller size, and I really love this factory gray color that this Tacoma specifically is finished off in. The name of this exterior paint color is magnetic gray, and it's kind of like a battleship gray almost. And you can see, like, just going around the truck right here, we have the SR5 badge, and then coming along the rear with the Toyota trucks, I love the fact that the model names are kind of like stamped in the rear. And also this one does come equipped with the V6, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a second. Moving on to the wheels, you can see that the tires are a little bit dirty just because this one has been sitting outside in the rocks, but you do have these nice 16-inch black alloy wheels to like really finish off the dark look on the outside, and the tires are 245 by 75 R16s, so you have a nice thick sidewall on them. So I'm sure that these tires, coupled with, you know, the part-time four-wheel drive, definitely does make this thing a blast to drive off the pavement as well. Now moving along and going underneath the hood of this new 2022 Toyota Tacoma, we have the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated D4S V6 engine powering this thing, and this is actually the higher output engine of the two different offerings for these new Tacomas. They can either come with this D4S V6, or they can come with a 2.7 liter inline 4-cylinder engine. Now this V6 does produce a peak 278 horsepower and 265 foot-pounds of torque, so you do have a nice even power output right there from low end to high end. And this Tacoma does deliver that power through a 6-speed automatic transmission right into a limited slip differential in the rear. Now, I said before, this is a four-wheel drive. Also, I'm sure you probably saw the badges. So despite its size, it definitely is a proper truck, and you can still, you know, thrash this thing off-road and drive it in all sorts of weather. And now moving on to the interior, before we actually take this thing out for a drive, you can tell that it is obviously brand new, still has the plastic on there. And moving in here, everything is analog. It's kind of like a blast from the past, even though it's a 2022 model year. It definitely has more of an old school, cheaper feel to it than, you know, something like that Tundra Platinum that I just reviewed. But honestly, at least for me, like, I really don't mind this. Now, this new Tacoma actually does have 5 miles on the odometer, so again, it's pretty much brand new. And then this right here is the different kind of drive. You can have the 2-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, and then you have 4 high and then 4 low, so that is definitely kind of a must if you're buying a truck. But yeah, now I'm gonna stop yapping about the interior because there's honestly not much to say. I mean, look how tight it is. It's definitely a smaller truck, and there's, you know, again, not really anything incredibly exceptional about this new 2022 Tacoma, but they are Tacomas. They have a cult following, and I cannot wait to get going with this one on the road. So without further ado, I'm going to hook you guys up to the GoPro and take this thing out for a drive and show you guys my initial thoughts. All right, guys, so now I'm driving around in this new 2022 Tacoma, and I don't know, I feel like, you know, again, I do feel a little spoiled right now because I'm going right from the, you know, Tundra Platinum, which is one of the higher trims of the new Tundras, down to, you know, this SR5 Tacoma. But I have to say, I kind of have a soft spot for these Tacomas. Again, I'm not like, you know, one of those like Tacoma fanboys who just like love tacos through all the different generations. But I do have to say, they're a nice like little truck. And for something that's like a starter vehicle, like if someone was getting their first car or whatever, these do have all the safety features that are included in those Tundras that I was talking about in that review. If you haven't checked that out, I know I keep talking about it. I'll link that on top of the video right now. But essentially, you still have that like lane departure warning. If I take my seatbelt off right now, it'll start chiming, which I might do when we actually get up to speed, because when you're actually going a certain, I guess, speed, it just starts chiming like crazy, which is very annoying. But as a safety feature, you kind of want it to be annoying, because if you're a parent out there and you're looking for, you know, to get your child like their first car or whatever the case may be, you kind of want something that they're gonna listen to, if that makes sense. A lot of times in some vehicles, like they'll have like those safety features, but then, you know, nothing actually happens when you don't follow them. Like there's no noises, there's, you know, nothing going on. So if I actually take my seatbelt off right here, you hear the first chime, and then I'm pretty sure it will continue to chime until I put my seatbelt back on. It's actually not as annoying as the Tundra one. The Tundra one just like beeps like crazy, but it's still there. And I said it before when I was talking about the interior, but this interior definitely gives you like an older feel. It gives you like a kind of early to mid 2000s feel. There's a lot of plastic everywhere. You can tell that it's cheaply made, which a lot of people would rip on. But honestly, I don't really think that's that big of a deal breaker, to be completely honest with you. I think the truck itself handles very nice. Obviously, it doesn't make that much power, but with the V6 engine, you are getting the higher power output than the inline 4, and I say higher in quotation marks because it's only like, you know, high 200s when it comes to horsepower and torque. I really wouldn't expect to tow much from this Tacoma. If you're a contractor, this obviously might not be the best truck for you. You might want to look at the size up, specifically if you're looking at Toyotas. You know, look at the Tundra, or, you know, an F-150, F-250, something like that, 1500. This obviously doesn't have the size of all those other trucks. The Tacoma, in my eyes, has always kind of been the truck community's like little brother, and obviously you're always going to get a lot of guys that, you know, pick on it and make fun of it, or whatever the case may be. But to all my Americans out there, apparently only 15% of the parts used to assemble this car, it happens in Japan. So that probably is like the engine, some of the drivetrain components right there. But the final assembly point for this Tacoma, as well as the Tundra that I just got done filming, is actually in San Antonio, Texas. So that is one thing that I kind of like. I always, you know, like to buy American, and obviously Toyota is not an American brand, so you can't, I guess you can kind of argue against it and for it. But I do like the fact that these new trucks are actually assembled here in the States. Now, shifting it over from drive, you do have a sport mode, which is pretty much just like a manual mode where you can downshift through the 6 different gears in this automatic transmission. But that's really it. There's not really anything when it comes to driving modes in this truck that I see. If I'm wrong, correct me down in the comments below, but I'm just looking around everywhere and there's no driving modes available in this Tacoma, which again isn't really that big of a deal. I typically don't care that much for all the added features, but the main thing and probably the most important thing is that rear wheel drive to 4 high and then to a 4 low. So I think that's probably the most important thing that people look for when buying a truck. I don't know really of any trucks out there that are all-wheel drive instead of 4-wheel drive. But if they are all-wheel drive, then they're just not a truck. I'm sorry, like that's just kind of silly to buy an all-wheel drive truck. Or even like some of your SUVs. Like I would much rather have an SUV that can, you know, go from being rear-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive and have a 4-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive low, just because of the fact that I live in the Northeast. Again, I live in New Jersey, so we have all sorts of different weather. I mean, right now it's in the 90s in August and it's a super hot day, but you know, January, February comes and we can have nor'easters, we can have huge blizzards, and you want something that you're going to be able to reliably just push through that bad weather with. And I would definitely go with the Tacoma if I was looking for an entry-level, reliable, no nonsense, all business, smaller size truck. And again, at the end of the day, it's still a Toyota, and I don't really like to generalize brands too much, but Toyota has a pretty good track record when it comes to reliability. And honestly, stepping on it right here, yeah, it doesn't throw you back in the seat or whatever, but it can be a little fun. Again, I'm sure that if I had the opportunity to take this thing off-road, put it in like 4-wheel drive high and just rip around either sand dunes with it or just like mud with it, it could definitely be a lot of fun. Now, yes, it doesn't have as much balls as like the higher output trucks out there. It's definitely no Ram TRX or anything like that, but it's still a pretty fun small truck. So that's pretty much just gonna be it for today's video. Again, down in the comments below, let me know if I missed anything. Also, let me know if you're a fan of these Tacomas or if you just don't like the modern ones, and also let me know why. I love hearing your guys' opinions, and being a smaller car YouTuber myself, I pretty much reply to all of your comments and see all of your comments down there. Also, if you're new, definitely be sure to subscribe for more reviews, automotive news, a bunch of different automotive content on my channel. It's absolutely free to subscribe, and I really do appreciate the support so much. So like always, guys, again, thank you so much for the support. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.